What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Driveway Detailer. In today's video, I will be doing a engine bay detail. But the interesting part about this video is this will be my very first engine bay detail. I'll be doing it on my old Toyota Camry, and like I said, you'll see it later in the video. But this engine bay has never been touched. So I will be walking you through the process as I do it, and hopefully at the end of the video, I didn't mess things up. All right, let's get into it. So in today's video, I'll be using my favorite all-purpose cleaner, Super Clean, to clean the engine bay along with some of my detail brushes, and I'll be using CarPro Perl to finish the detail and protect the plastics. Interesting part about CarPro Pearl, I ordered CarPro Pearl like 6 months ago or so, and I got a miniature version, like a sample version for like $3, and I really liked it. I got CarPro Pearl, and it didn't come with like a little spray thing. I read the directions, and you're actually supposed to dilute CarPro Pearl, which I didn't know. So that was useful to know. So I got myself an empty spray bottle, and the dilution ratio that I decided to use was a 1:2 ratio of CarPro Pearl. So those are products I'm going to be using. I have the APC diluted 1:4 in my foam cannon. So we are going to see how this works out. Let's get started with detail. So this is my engine bay, and as you can see, it's filthy. And like I said in the beginning of this video, this is my first engine bay detail. Obviously, the engine bay is filthy. So I'm not just doing this cold. I did do some research. I watched some YouTube videos from guys like Pan the Organizer, Larry from Ammo NYC. There are some things that he does that I'm not going to do because he's obviously much more experienced than I am. The detail geek, like I did all kinds of research from actual people that do this a lot for a living, so that I don't mess up this car. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you want to make sure that your engine is cool. You don't want to get home from like your commute, because I commute pretty far to work. You don't want to get back from your commute when your engine is still hot. Pop open the hood and do the detail. That is definitely not a good thing. Let your engine sit for a couple hours and do the detail when the engine is cool. There's a couple things you can do to check and see if the engine is cool. The first thing you can do is touch like the heads on my Toyota is right here. It is kind of warm, so I think I'm going to let it sit for another while, because my car was turned the other way, and I let the engine run for a minute or two before I moved it. So it is kind of warm, so I think I'm going to let the engine cool down just a little bit more. Another thing you can do is the radiator hose here. Just give the radiator hose a squeeze. If your engine is at operating temperature, there will be very little give in your radiator hose. So give it a little squeeze. Like you can see here, I can squeeze the radiator hose. So, like, could I do the engine bay detail now? Yeah, probably. But just because the heads are a little bit warm, like so warm I can't leave my fingers on too long, I'm probably going to wait for a little bit before I do the engine bay detail. So I will be back shortly to do the detail. Another thing you're going to want to do is protect any kind of sensitive bits of your car that if water got into the engine, or water got into that particular component, it would be bad. So I'm not too worried about very much in my car. The air box here is sealed, so I'm not going to get any water into the intake. The one thing I am nervous about, that I've always been kind of nervous about, is the alternator here. So before I do the detail, what I'll probably end up doing is covering the alternator with like a plastic bag or something to protect the alternator. Would it be a big deal if water got on it? No, because after I do the detail, I'm planning on letting my car sit for the night, because it's Friday and my car's not going to move from where it is pretty much all weekend. So it'll have all weekend to dry. So would I be able to do the detail without covering the alternator? Yeah, sure. But am I going to? No. But like you can see, I have my work cut out for me. So hopefully by the time the detail is done, I'll be able to see a difference in the engine bay and the way that it looks. So for some people, engine bay details are all about the aesthetics, especially guys with like, a supercharged LS or like a turbocharged 2JZ, where the engine is definitely meant to look a certain way. Or if you have a Duramax like I do, mine isn't all souped up, it's basically stock. Or you have like a Duramax with all the powder coated like engine parts because you got it deleted. The engine bay is meant to look a certain way. It's meant to be clean and add to the appeal of the car when you take it out to car meets. For me, like this is a bone stock 2007 Toyota Camry, the most boring engine that man has ever created. Well, that's obviously like embellishment, but boring. For me, this is more about practicality, right? This is an old car and I want to keep it running. Engine for me, the engine bay detail is when I'm changing my oil or when I'm rotating my tires, I'm doing any kind of maintenance on my car. If my engine bay is clean, I'll be able to see if there's a leak in here, if there's an oil leak or there's a head leak. I'll be able to see if there's a leak in the master cylinder. I'll be able to see if there's a leak in the power steering fluid, or if there's a leak in the radiator radiator or radiator hose or something. I'll be able to see a leak. It's harder to see leaks when there's all kinds of dirt and stuff going on in your engine. So for some guys, like if you have an engine it's for aesthetics, for like car shows and stuff, good for you. But for me, this is for practicality. Okay, so here's my phone cannon with my APC diluted 4-to-1. So I'm going to spray it evenly on the engine, trying to get it as thick as possible. I actually don't know how thick this is going to be, but try to get it as thick as possible to get some of this dirt off, or at least as much as possible. Okay, so it didn't come out thick, but it's probably what I should have expected. So now I have some of my brushes here. I'm going to start with one of my boar hair brushes, go along the top, and then clean all the nooks and crannies and get in there with my longer brush, trying to get some of the deeper stuff. So as you can see, I talked about not getting the alternator wet, and what did I do? I forgot to put the bag on the alternator. Now the alternator's wet, but it's okay. I'm not freaking out about it. Like I said, the car's not going to move. By the time I drive this car again, the engine bay is going to be dry. It's supposed to be like 105 degrees outside. By the time I drive it, if I do drive it tomorrow, it'll be dry. So I'm not worried about it. So now for my smaller boar's hair brush, just to get some of the more intricate details that I wasn't able to get with my bigger brush. So I think I'm going to hit again with some APC. You know what I'm realizing with all this? There's a lot of real estate in this engine. So if you see like a modern German car, you just take your BMWs, Mercedes, Porsche, there's very little real estate for those engines. It's usually packed with plastics, packed with engine components, just kind of like in there, like all together. So you need a brush like what I was just using to get into the more intricate areas. But for this, like I said, it's old and there is a lot of real estate to work with. So there wasn't really much like deep down to get because it's all, you can reach pretty much everything with regular brush. One thing to remember when you're rinsing is to not use a pressure washer. I think this is where a lot of detailers would differ from guys like Larry from Ammo NYC, who uses pressure to do the engine bay. But I really respect what Larry does. He is super, super talented and he has a lot of experience that I'm not comfortable with. So I'm using just a regular hose to rinse off all of the APC. So that's what I'm going to do now. All right, so we ran out of daylight. It's okay, I found some lights. We're gonna keep on going. So next step is I'm gonna use my Adams air cannon to take care of some of the leftover water to dry off the engine bay a little bit. So far, I don't know how impressed I am with the process or what I did. One thing I'm kind of thinking is maybe I would have gotten a little bit more dwell time on the all-purpose cleaner if I would have mixed it with like a regular kind of snow foam. So snow foam mixed with snow foam mixed with APC. So maybe next time that's something that I'll do. But for now, this is what I have. So this is what I'm going to work with. So now I have my diluted CarPro and a microfiber applicator. So I'm going to hit the engine now. Well, my honest assessment of this is, it could have turned out better, but it also could have turned out a lot worse. I think hitting it with the CarPro Pearl is really what sets it off. It's not going to look like a fresh and clean engine out of like a 2024 BMW M3 or anything like that. But considering that it's an almost 20-year-old car with definite 20-year-old components, I think it turned out kind of okay. And I can like I think with engine bays that are this heavily soiled, you definitely want to go back and revisit and revisit and revisit. And the more you revisit, the better it'll get. But I'm going to bring you close up and then we'll show you how it went. So like I said, I think CarPro Pearl made the detail a lot better. So I will put in a before image here, and this is what the engine bay looked like before, and now this is what it looks like after. So the image is going to look a little bit different from the before, because obviously I'm working with lights, and it is now fully sunset. It's dark outside, so the image quality is going to be a little bit different, but hopefully you can see the difference between a heavily soiled engine and a not so heavily soiled engine. Like I said, there's a lot of work to do, and off camera over the next couple weeks, maybe once a month, I'll come back and I'll tweak the process a little bit. I'll learn more, because that's what I love about detailing. There's things that I'm super competent in and super comfortable doing, but there's some things that I'm not super comfortable doing. Just happens to be one of those things. I tried it, and it turned out pretty okay, considering, like I said, this is a 20-year-old car and a 20-year-old engine with 20-year-old engine components. So, well, almost 20. But it turned out okay. So that's it for today's video. If you like this video, you want to see more, please leave this video a like on your way out. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and leave me a comment. Comment down below what you thought of the detail, and if you saw something what I was doing that I could improve on or change, let me know. I'm always looking for suggestions so that I can improve. But either way, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around. And if you made it to the end of this video, I just reached 100 subscribers. Maybe that seems kind of not awesome for all of you, but I don't know. I think it was a pretty big milestone for me. Just the fact that 100 people are watching me is kind of crazy. But I'm going to keep on going and grow this thing to how big I can grow it. So if you want to see my journey and how I get better, subscribe down below. But once again, my name is Josh. This has been the Driveway Detailer. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.